My friends, how are you doing out there? It is great to see you for yet another video, as today we have quite a situation because the rednecks are revolting against Walmart of all places. So we've got an interesting scenario here as the rednecks have decided they are boycotting Walmart because in their opinion, Walmart is standing up against Donald Trump. But we got to be clear. That isn't exactly what is happening, but I'm going to explain what is happening that has caused the rednecks to get all fired up and threaten to boycott their only lifeline in rural America. Yeah, it's an interesting scenario. So, Walmart heiress Christy Walton has put out a full-page ad in the New York Times supporting the No Kings protest coming up to protest, Donald Trump, the little dictator wannabe that thinks he's going to brute force his way through America, as we're watching that happen in LA right now, where he's deployed the National Guard, and I'm pretty sure some Marines also. I meant to go back and follow up on that. Last I knew, he was talking about sending the Marines. I don't know, with Donald Trump, everything changes 1 minute to the next on this. So anyways, this Christy Walton, let's be clear, she isn't on the Walmart board. She's not employed by Walmart in any way, as far as I can tell. She just happened to be married to one of Sam Walton's sons, who died, I believe, back in the 90s. I don't remember exactly, in a plane crash, and she inherited a good portion of that Walmart fortune that made her worth billions of dollars. Now, one thing I want to be clear about, my friends, I am no friend of the billionaires, and I never will be. But in times like these, sometimes we have very strange bedfellows. And look, I'm willing to set all of that aside for now and not fight with all the billionaires. I'll still keep up my fight with guys like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, of course. But I'm willing to set this aside for the time being, as we all are trying to fight off this angry little wannabe tyrant that is hell-bent on revenge against America, because, in America, Donald Trump just hasn't really gotten a fair shake now, has he? That is what's known as sarcasm. This spoiled little fucking brat has had nothing but the world handed to him on a silver platter, and still it isn't enough. He's a whiny little bitch that just wants revenge on America because he cannot figure out why people would have voted for Joe Biden instead of him. Well, it's because you suck at fucking everything, and we don't like you. That's the reason that happened. But anyways, Donald Trump, let me say this right. What's her name? Let me find it real quick. Christy Walton put out this full-page ad in the New York Times about the No Kings Day, people going out to protest. I believe that's also on Donald Trump's birthday. The same guy that has referred to America's veterans as suckers and losers, the same guy who dodged the draft using his daddy's money to get him a doctor's note that said he had bone spurs, the very same guy that said he don't respect John McCain because he was captured, now wants a military parade in his honor. And my friends, it's fucking happening. They are rolling the tanks over to Washington, D.C. This is going to cost millions, if not billions of dollars to hold this parade, not to mention the effects afterwards of the damage caused to the infrastructure in DC that's going to have to be repaired. And this is happening while Donald Trump is literally bankrupting our economy in one way or another, through a broken supply chain because he can't stop with the bullshit with the tariffs, and through his big beautiful budget bill that's going to crash the fucking economy with enormous deficits that our great grandchildren won't be able to pay off. Donald Trump, on that day, while all this destruction is going on at the hand of Donald Trump, wants a military parade, my friends. Can you believe it? So all across the nation, there is going to be another protest opposed to Donald Trump. And you know what? I have good news, my friends. As you know, I've just been sitting around the house this week, had a little blowout with the safety manager at a trucking company that didn't end very well for both of us. We both mutually agreed I should seek employment elsewhere, and that's what I'm doing. Sorry, but the guy kind of pushed my buttons. We're not going to go into that right now. Anyways, it was a shouting match that probably didn't need to happen. But since I'm sitting around the house this week, I have discovered that my small town in a rural red district of Colorado is also holding one of these protests, and I, my friends, am going to be there because I've got nothing but time this week, and I will be out there. I know I got quite a few viewers in my small town. I've seen you guys say it in the comments. I'm not doxing myself. I'm saying that you've said where you're from. If you see me out there, come say hi. Anyways, the point is these nationwide protests are popping up against Donald Trump, which is good, and we're going to go out there and let you know, Donald Trump, how much we don't fucking like you. And Donald Trump, of course, is being a huge fucking baby about it. Do you know why? Because Donald Trump is a huge fucking baby about everything. Apparently, he stopped shitting his diapers, though, and he wears his catheter to his manly UFC fights now. This is our alpha male, my friends. A man that wears gallons of orange paint before he can be seen in public and shits his diaper has now decided to stop shitting his diaper and wears his catheter to his man event where manly men punch each other. What the fuck is this world that we live in? Anyways, since this heiress to some of the Walmart fortune has decided to throw a little bit of money behind this No Kings protest, the rednecks are fucking outraged, my friends. And look, I keep my ear to the streets, my friends. I know rednecks in my real life. And I pay attention to what's going on out there, where now they are threatening to boycott Walmart. I cannot even begin to explain how goddamn dumb this thought is, but here we go. Here we are in a world where the people of rural America are saying they are going to boycott Walmart and not go there. For one, the right doesn't know how to boycott the right way. They don't have the conviction to stand behind what they actually say. Every time these fuckers try to boycott, they're back to doing their same bullshit within like 2 days. They always cave first. It always fucking happens. Look, I understand that here on the left they refer to us as, they always talk about our cancel culture, which I gotta be honest with you, the right-wing cancel culture is way fucking worse than anything on the left. Those fucking babies cancel goddamn everything. They get their panties in a bunch about fucking everything. But there's a reason that we on the left have such this reputation of cancel culture, because we're fucking good at it. We stand by our convictions, and once we boycott something, well, that place normally ends up paying the price for it. Ask Target. Target wanted to fall in line with Donald Trump's anti-DEI policies, and they lost a lot of goddamn money on it. And that's just the way this shit fucking works. We stand up for what we believe in. Now, this whole thing with them boycotting Walmart is quite possibly the most hilarious fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, and I strongly encourage it. I think they should boycott Walmart. Do you know why? Because I grew up in these rural small cities all over America, mostly Colorado, a little bit of New Mexico in my early 20s, things like that, and I watched these Walmarts pop up all over the country. Now, the rural Americans had a choice to make in that situation, and they made the absolute fucking wrong choice, and they decided to support Walmart when it rolled into their small town and steamrolled all the small business that was out there. You see, what happened is these small towns had plenty of small business, small grocery stores owned by a single person, and other kinds of businesses, shops, stores, anything you can imagine that help these towns to survive. Now, because these are a bunch of lazy sons of bitches, once they found that they could buy everything all under one roof, they got in their car and they drove straight to Walmart the minute that it fucking opened. They didn't give a damn that their sister-in-law owned the boutique downtown. They didn't give a shit that it was their cousin or their brother or their best friend that owned the grocery store downtown. They were the driving force in putting all of these businesses, these small businesses across rural America, out of business. They didn't give a goddamn. They just knew that they could go to a place where they could one-stop shop, and that's all they needed to fucking hear. They didn't care who went broke in the process. Look, there was a choice to be made. Walmart can build all the fucking Walmarts they want. If nobody goes to the Walmart, well, then the Walmart doesn't succeed now, does it? But they all chose to go to Walmart. What ended up happening is all these small businesses closed within hundreds of miles of the Walmarts, leaving Walmart as the only lifeline to most rural Americans out there. The small shops have all closed up years ago, and Walmart is all they fucking have left. So now you've got a bunch of rural Americans that are pissed off about Christy Walton, who actually does not work for Walmart. She is not on the board of Walmart. We have to be super clear about that. But she has the Walton name, and they are threatening to boycott. This is why, my friends, I frequently refer to MAGA as the goddamn dumbest political movement that has ever fucking existed. These are the same people that were cheering on Elon Musk and his waste, fraud, and abuse tirade that he was on that resulted in farmers losing the funding they needed to keep their family farms going. This is just the domestic stuff. We don't have to, I mean, we have to think about it, but it's not part of the story. The hundreds of thousands of poor children that Elon Musk was starving overseas. But here domestically, while the big beautiful bill is threatening to make cuts to Medicare and Medicaid, which is actually what supports rural hospitals all over America, they are fucking supporting that. They are saying, hell yeah, let's fucking do it. Now, my friends, after years and years of letting Walmart run all over their small communities and them happily supporting it, they are now saying they are going to boycott Walmart. This is a political movement that will either cave. They like to fold a lot. They're a lot like Donald Trump in the sense that they fold as soon as possible. They give up any conviction because of the inconvenience caused by it. And it's very likely that within 3 days from now, they will completely fold on their idea to boycott Walmart. But if they don't, in the event that they don't, they have cut off their entire lifeline to their rural communities. And what the fuck do you even say to that? Look, I support it. I think you should. If you want to sit over there and starve yourself because you're mad that a person with the Walton last name that isn't even associated with Walmart at this point is saying, fuck Donald Trump, then I 100% support rural Americans doing that. But I know 100% that they're not going to. Now, I mentioned earlier in the video, I am no friend of the billionaires, okay? This is why you see so many left-wing content creators that are out here starving to death, because the left is not normally backed by billionaires. It is rare. It does happen sometimes. I know on the right, George Soros is the huge boogeyman, right? I got accused of being paid by George Soros just today. I live in a single-wide trailer. George Soros, I'm going to need more money. My lifestyle ain't good enough for the amount of money that you have, sir. Send another Cash App or something over here, George Soros, because this just ain't fucking cutting it. But no, I promise you, I am not paid by the left at all. It's always shocking to people to find out that somebody would have their own opinions and not be paid to speak on them. I am not paid by anyone. I am my own independent man, my friends. But what was the fucking point I was making on that? It's nice when it happens to a point. We got to understand that these billionaires generally are pretty fucking evil people. So at this current time, I'm going to take Christy Walton's support. I'm going to accept that in this very moment, that we have to stand up to a wannabe dictator in America, and it is going to take every possible effort out there for us to come out on the winning side of this. So for the time being, I accept that Christy Walton and potentially other billionaires want to be part of the resistance to Donald Trump. Once this is over, I cannot wait to go back to our old ways, my friends, where you can bet your sweet ass that once we survive this in the future, I will continue, because I've done it before, I will continue to make videos about what a shitty employer Walmart is, how anti-union they are, how subsidized their employees' paychecks are because they don't pay them enough to make a standard living, so the employees are entitled to all kinds of government benefits, and that means, like I just said, we subsidize the payroll at Walmart, and I will happily get back to that. But for now, my friends, I am going to accept this support. I am going to take any backing that our movement can get, and we will continue to roll with that. I think it's hilarious. I think it's funny how pissed off a bunch of rednecks are at Walmart right now because, like I say, it's a goddamn dumb, stupid, fucking idiotic political movement. They can't seem to figure out that Christy Walton isn't actually associated with Walmart, and that's why they're choosing to boycott. Look, This is the time, my friends. I'll get a little bit serious for just a minute. This is going to require everybody possible that can come to our aid and help stand up against this. If that means we are bedfellows with billionaires for this time, and look, this is just my opinion. You guys are allowed to 100% disagree. I do not demand followers, loyal followers on this channel. You can 100% disagree with me, but for the time being, anybody that wants to step up and stand in the way of Donald Trump is 100% welcome in my camp, and I will definitely take that. I can't wait to get back to the way things used to be, where we are bickering about things that aren't near as important as they are now. Although they are important, they are not as dire as the situation that we are in. So it's hilarious. The rednecks are pissed once again, but aren't they fucking always? And I hope they stand by their convictions and they starve themselves out. I don't mean die, I just mean, go hungry a little bit and stand up to what's going on. I think that it's all pretty fucking hilarious. I know I had some more points, but instead of sitting here stumbling over my words trying to remember what they are, I'm going to go ahead and head out and find something else to do. Love you guys. Bye now.